Hi, everyone. So today I have a very special guest, one of my top lawyers, my real estate lawyer, Alex Koch. She's here with us today, and she's been practicing law for the past 7 years. She specializes in corporate law and real estate law. She has her own practice. I've used her personally for myself on personal real estate and legal matters. And I've referred her to many of my clients too. And I really think she's a great asset and resource to everyone here. And I just wanted to have a quick Q&A just to get to know Alex and some of the real key reasons why it's important to have a really, really good real estate lawyer on your side, whether you're buying or selling. So today I'm just going to go through a few questions with Alex, and then she can talk about some of the legal spectrum and how it can help you. So Alex, the first question today, like I know that not all lawyers are equal and everyone has their specialty. So does a good real estate lawyer matter? And what errors have you seen in the real estate spectrum for buyers and sellers?
Of course. Firstly, thanks for that introduction, Sandy. That was really nice. Secondly, you know what? Probably a common misconception with real estate lawyers is that everything is just cookie cutter. So that it doesn't make a difference which lawyer you work with, which in some transactions, because we find that as well, some transactions almost go by unnoticeably because everything is really smooth. But the difference is if things aren't smooth, that's where a good lawyer does come into play. So some common things that I hear from other clients, let's say that maybe have worked with different lawyers in the past, usually you'll hear that clients never actually speak directly to the lawyer. It's always, the file is always passed on to a clerk and they never get to actually be able to ask any legal questions. Sometimes, so when I'm signing closing documents with clients, I always explain to clients what's untitled to the property, what the documents that they're signing are, what they need, and things like that. And so I've heard it multiple times when clients call me very thorough because they've never seen or heard some of the other lawyers, let's say, fully walk them through the transaction, all the documents, just for them to really understand what's happening. And then the third thing, it is true. Some of the documents that we use for real estate tend to look more or less the same. So there is a use and reliance on software, which is really great. And it's meant to support our job as lawyers, but it's not meant to replace us. So a good lawyer will still review all the documents, look out for any nuances that are particular to this particular deal that's closing in order to make sure that they didn't just rely on the software to spit out the documents as they come out, but that they've actually made sure that everything is customized to the very particular deal that they're working on.
No, that's thanks for that, Alex. And what about pre-construction contracts? Do you review those? And what are the biggest problems, I guess, you've been seeing lately?
I definitely do review those. I've had a few of those in the last few months, especially. I'm seeing that people are now feeling more comfortable. There was a little bit of a lull during the COVID pandemic, but now we're seeing more pre-construction come up again. So I think the common thing that most people don't really know when they enter into a pre-construction contract is how different pre-construction really is from resale. So there's nothing bad about pre-construction per se. It's more about just having different expectations. So for example, when you close in a pre-construction, we don't 100% know what the closing costs will look like because each builder will add various development levies, utility hook connection costs, law society fees, legal fees, things like that onto the final closing amount. Now, a lot of the time, these closing amounts don't necessarily form part of your mortgage. Your mortgage lender doesn't fund on these additional closing costs. They fund on the value of the property that you bought. So just expecting that there might be some variation in closing costs. You might have to have a down payment ready to go. So there's some uncertainty when it comes to pre-construction. A lot of the time, the reason that you'll see that pre-construction might be cheaper and there might be smaller deposits and whatnot, and it's because of that factor, that because there's some uncertainty in there. You don't know what the final product will look like because the builder can change out layouts and finishes depending on any construction costs or city requirements that they have to do. So their pre-construction is good because it has these benefits in that if you don't need a place right away, you don't have to move into it. It's usually priced and cheaper than resale, not always depending on the builder, but a lot of the time. And then you just make smaller deposits at a time. So for people who don't have a lot of money up front, it helps them build up to that property. But it comes with just the main expectation has to be that there will be some uncertainty that comes with the perks of pre-construction. So you just have to be prepared and a little bit more flexible in terms of expectations for the closing costs, the final layout of the unit, and the final look of the building. And so that would be the main thing, I'd say.
Okay, thanks for sharing that, Alex. So personally, I've used Alex a countless number of times. I've noticed a big difference with her services versus other lawyers that I've used. And I think the key thing as a realtor is just using top lawyers and people who benefit your business. And as a buyer or seller, to really be represented properly with somebody who's well versed in the industry, who's responsive, who's patient. The top qualities I see with Alex would be just super, super intelligent, very thorough, very detailed. She's always available. And if she's not, she'll tell you, I'm in a meeting, I will call you shortly. If you want to prevent surprises and unknowns, it's really best to work with someone that you trust. And I'm big on referrals, and I never like to use people that are not new, but I prefer the word of mouth just because you can vouch for that. And Alex, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart because you've made my business life much easier. And I'm so grateful to know you. And thank you so much for sharing your knowledge with all of us today. I really appreciate you taking the time.
Oh, of course. Thanks so much for that. I'm definitely happy to help in whatever way I can. And that's the other important thing for because realtors are also involved in deals. So it's always good to have a relationship between the realtors and the lawyers that if we ever need to speak, it also works out really well. So I think overall it's a fruitful relationship for sure.
Yeah, I'm very happy with you, Alex. I have nothing bad to say. And I wish you all the success and all the productivity because you deserve nothing but the best. And to all of you listening out there, if you're looking for a good lawyer, Alex is truly amazing. I know lawyers don't like to advocate, but I'm really, really proud and happy with Alex's services that I had to do a video and share this. So thank you so much.
Thanks
Okay,
so much.
everyone, have a great day.
Thank you, everyone.